What up, Geekdom? This is Chipmunk. Uh, Stated I was going to do a rant over AEW, and this is it. This is going to be my rant over AEW and a lot of my gripes that AEW still are doing and possibly things that could help them. I'm going to talk about that along the way as well, because I think this is a discussion a lot of people kind of feel when it comes to AEW. AEW is not perfect. AEW is a good alternative, I think, when it comes to WWE, especially with how WWE is now with their stories and stuff that's going on. But AEW is not perfect. It does have great wrestling. It does put on great pay-per-views. You know, it's a still a great show to watch and enjoy. But there are some things that kind of grind a lot of people's gears, especially those who are huge fans of wrestling and of AEW. So here are some of the gripes I typically have when it comes to AEW. Number one, even if it wasn't in order or anything, I don't think these are directly in order, but I think this is very high on the list of a gripe to me, is the treatment of the women. I kind of feel like the treatment of women in the big wrestling companies are bad or horrible anyways, but AEW is does have, I think, out of like large companies, has the worst using women in their shows and showcasing women. It's outside, especially outside of the big stars, and it's very sad to me. They still have it to where women only shown like one time, about one match on Dynamite. Last week it was only one match, I believe, on Collision. When they used to show more matches for women on Collision to try to, break away from just the one match for Dynamite. But yeah, the especially lack of story as well when it comes to women is just horrible. The lack of effort put in, I would say, not necessarily that there's no stories or anything. It's just the lack of effort when it comes to stories around the women in the women's division, whether that's the tag team side or whether that's the TBS or the women's world title. I think the lack of stories without their main stars being Mercedes Monet, Tony Storm, I think they tend to not care, it seems like, fully when it comes to story and how they present these women. And then usually when a woman is brought in to AEW, they shoot them really hard towards the title. And then, bam, you don't see them anymore. Which is definitely crazy. And that's what they kind of did to Taya Valkyrie, Deanna Purrazzo. They shoot them like towards the title really, really quickly. Then they just disappear once they lose a shot for the title. Um, I tend to dislike that dynamic a lot when it comes to the women and their treatment. I do think better stories around a lot of these women would work so well if there's a focus like they do on them, especially for the main title, the men's main titles and stuff like that. Like John Moxley's whole story with Will Ospreay is very interesting. It's something I was like, this definitely could work depending on where they're going with it. But you can tell that there is a focus there. The stories with MJF and how he's going about when it comes to dealing with the title, the main title, or the TNT title, has been pretty interesting. Um, or even the story with the they have all these smaller stories going around and picked around, even with tag team titles, which I'm gonna leave that for a bit. But they have some stories and stuff with Edge and Christian versus FTR. Even the small story with Hook trying to find a new member for the Ops, and he found a new member out of Anthony Bowens. That was an interesting small story. It wasn't a lot to it, but they actually are doing something on the smaller end to just showcase. So for at least for like mid cards and stuff like that. Chris Jericho, Ricochet, and them has been going on for a minute. So it's these small stories that they do focus with the men, but they do have some stories for the women, but it's nothing that's really just heavily focused on. It's not something that is even drawn out. I thought it was a shame that I thought it was a shame that the whole story with Camille and Willow didn't draw out a little bit more. I thought that's something that could have been a couple of weeks at least. Camille just attacks, Willow at the pay per view. Willow's not able to wrestle yet, so like in the next week, y'all could have did that, and Camille still dominates. It then shows that she's going after Willow's title. Willow wants to fight, but no, she can't. She's injured, so she can't fight. You have that like pull apart brawl type of deal. Like you build it up. Next week, you have something else to where Willow is trying to recover, and then here comes Camille to try to injure her a little bit more. She's trying to weaken her prey, so when they do actually fight, she has the upper hand. Something that's to that extent, I think, would have been very, very interesting. But it seems like they just wanted it to go by really quickly for whatever reason. Camille went for the title the next few days after the pay per view, and I was like, this definitely could have been drawn out. I don't understand why they have to rush this match because we just got Camille back. It would have definitely been interesting to see. So you have a huge, huge roster of women, and it doesn't seem like they try to cater too much to actually telling good stories with these women. I know a lot of the women are also on ROH and stuff like that, but they still have a large roster pool of women. So it's definitely sad. It's definitely sad when it comes to the women's side. But that's definitely a gripe that I have when it comes to AEW, just the mishandling of the women. Some things they do pretty well at when it comes to. Uh, I think I like Thekla. I think Thekla is very interesting. I think they just need to do more with her and more with her story. I like her promos, so I think she can do really, really well if you just give her the chance to just have longer and more drawn out stories. So that's the women's division. The other one, the other gripe that I have when it comes to divisions and everything is the trios titles. I don't understand, like, the trios division is very, very just weak when it comes to how they're telling the stories and how they're doing it. It just goes from one person to the next to the next. It seemed like at first, to where now we're not even talking about the trios. It's not even mentioned. It's not. Nothing's really being done when it comes to the trios. And yeah, the conglomerate, they are attacking FTR and Stokely and stuff. We've seen that tonight on Wednesday. But yeah, they need to have some story with somebody else or some other group. They could be feuding with the Don Callis family. They have a lot of members. I know Don Callis family had the trio titles not too long ago, but them or I wish maybe the Bang Bang Gang, but I don't know exactly because a lot of the members of Bang Bang Gang is hurt, injured. But I think with Juice, I think Austin's good, and we know Ace, Austin Gunn, and Ace Austin. I believe they're all good, so it should be okay for them to, I would think, to do something. And you have Rushnim, who you could do a story or something with regarding them going for the trios titles, maybe. But I don't know. I'm like, it's so much they could do, but it doesn't seem like they're setting up a trios really just anything good when it comes to stories and development. It just seems like people are just having title matches just to have title matches. I'm like, there definitely needs to be more focus on the trios when it comes to story and what's going on. The tag team division, yes, they got stories and stuff right now. So at the moment they're good, but I don't understand exactly when it comes to the tag team why they continuously are okay with Edge and Christian continuously just going for the title without proving themselves to be able to have another shot for the title. But it is what it is. Because you have so many people, so many guys that's in tag teams and groups and stuff. You could just do something with a lot of other people. It's not like this. You're short on possible stories. Just a lot of stuff you can do with the stories and stuff. These guys shouldn't just hold the titles just to hold the titles. And that's what I kind of feel like a lot of them are doing. Even like bringing in another gripe that I have is bringing in a lot of it's a lot of wrestlers. You're bringing in a lot of wrestlers, and you're not doing anything with a lot of them. There's a lot of wrestlers that's just been sitting out that we haven't seen in a long, long time. Some people I don't even know or remember if they're still injured, just because I'm like we haven't seen them in a long time. Whether it's like Britt Baker, Kip Sabian, Keith Lee. We know Wardlow just got through finishing with his whole show that he was doing with Camille and stuff, American Gladiator, I want to say, and still no Wardlow. No, Brian Cage has been missing for a good long time. I think Matt Sydal is still even on the roster. We don't get the grizzled young vets that much neither, but I know I can understand that some people are still injured or just got injured not too long ago, like Jake Doyle and stuff like that. But that should free up space for some people for you to show. I don't know what happened with Nyla Rose, but to me, that's one that I just feel ashamed. It's like y'all could be doing something with her as well. She's very talented. I think she's an ex-champion. She's a good worker. I don't understand why y'all don't do anything with Nyla Rose because she's been wrestling on the independent scene. So it's not like she can't wrestle because we've seen her wrestle. So it's like, what is the deal with a lot of this? I don't understand exactly why we sit out people for months on for whatever reason. Serena Deeb we haven't seen in a long time. I think Queen Amanada just came back and then she, Layla Gray, I don't know what happened to her. It's just so many people that I feel like just been missing. And that's an issue, I think. You have so many people on your roster and it feels like people are missing. And we don't get to see them at all. I can understand not showing them every week. That's fine. You don't have to show everyone every week. But they should be shown periodically or just a few, maybe. Some people are not even shown once a month. I'm like, once every 2 weeks or so isn't bad. I'm like, at least to get people shown. I don't understand. But, yeah. But those are some of the gripes and stuff I have when it comes to AEW and the treatment of their division and their roster and stuff like that is definitely bad. I think they need to do more promos or backstage type of segments, kind of like they're doing with Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay. I think those need to be done a lot more. I feel like those will work heavily for just mid cards and stuff like that. Let's New Japan use a lot of the wrestlers in Japan and then showcase that later on in the show where it's like these guys are doing tournaments and stuff like that, and then hey, these guys are working well in these tournaments. There's nothing wrong with that neither. I think a lot of people have won titles and stuff off of like a lot of these other companies and stuff that AEW works with, whether it's like Rev Pro or New Japan and CMLL. People are winning titles in those companies and stuff, which is fine. Definitely fine as far as just when it comes to AEW stars. But it'd be definitely interesting if you allow some wrestlers from other companies to win maybe a title in AEW, and then you have a lot of people from AEW go to those companies and stuff and try to win the title back. And then you can probably do your main big shows in like Japan or Mexico and stuff like that to where you get to showcase that, and it'd be a big draw. I think that would definitely help the company out worldwide to get more global scenes and stuff like that based off of other big companies that you work with. Do those shows. We know that AEW goes to the UK a lot every year, which is great, fantastic. They've been going to Australia a lot, great, fantastic. But it's all these other countries and stuff we don't get to see them heavily a lot in, even though they work with, companies and stuff that's in said countries like Japan or Mexico. They have been there before, but it's just they're not there a lot. So I was like, there could be just more global focus. I think that AEW should do just to solidify them as the best alternative company when it comes to wrestling. Definitely give that more global exposure. I think would help, and it gives those fans and stuff around the world more chances to see these wrestlers and stuff that they see on TV a lot, or it gets them to want to watch these wrestlers on TV. So, yeah, just my thoughts, kind of a rant when it comes to everything. So, yeah, this is my 2 cents of everything. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this, any of these rants or any of these topics that I kind of bring up when it comes to wrestlers or divisions or anything. Y'all can definitely let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all so much for jumping on and giving me a try. I really do appreciate it. Please take care of yourselves and others. Peace, geekdom.